Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. By the way, Rod Patz is the owner of Abundant Television. He is syndicated. He's all over the world, has other radio stations and TV stations, but this particular one just had its 2-year anniversary. So congratulations, Rob, for that happening for you. And also you can find us on a podcast, and it's the newscasters.com. You can also find us on all the social media sites, and we appreciate your watching and listening that way as well. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. And I was looking, and I didn't put my email address there, but just remember, Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you for watching again every day. AP Steadham was with us right now. He is our news guy, sportscaster guy, and has been on with us for several years now, and he's my go-to source. I don't even go to anybody else. AP, how are you doing?
Hey, Donna, thank you so much for having me on the show. Delighted to be here.
Now, you also have another show, so let's talk about that and let folks know how they can find it.
Yes, Donna, thank you very much. It's called AP As We See It, and in the title we have the SEC, Southeastern Conference. So every week we always discuss college football, Donna. It never leaves. 52 weeks of the year, we're discussing college football in some form or fashion. So we're discussing the coaches, the teams, the players, and with this naming, image, and likeness and transfer portal business and all the rules and legislation that's in flux and it's changing yearly. So there's always something to ponder and contemplate and to see if the legislation is helping the sport, hindering the sport, needs to be changed again. It always amazes me, Donna, about the college football. But anyway, you can check us on our YouTube channel at AP As We See It. We have all the interviews when we're at the Super Bowl, the College Football Championship, the games every week in the fall, the Final Four for the men's basketball, the NFL draft, any award shows. We did, I think, 15 or 16 football games last year down to college football. We were around the country. I think we just missed a couple weeks. So all those interviews you could follow on my YouTube channel, AP As We See It, and at AP Steadham. And we're on the Facebook, the Instagram, the X account, and also the Spotify. Everything's archived, so you can find us. And we like to have a lot of fun and different guests on the show. Last week we had Zach Barnett of Football Scoop. So we were discussing the upcoming season, trying to make some projections. And it's very difficult because we're not even sure the rosters at this point. There's probably some more players that come on board before the fall camp begins. But we have a lot of fun on our show and hope people can listen. We're on radio stations around as well. We're heard in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee. So check your local stations. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they air our 1-hour weekly syndicated show.
That's awesome. So now your guest, what were his thoughts about the new football era we're in right now?
Yeah, he's like everyone, Donna. He's just trying to keep up because the roster changes so quickly, and especially at the quarterback position, which is crucial. And I always say this football-centric. The quarterback is the central part of football on all levels, high school level, the college level, the professional level. You have to establish the quarterback position above. If you want to be a championship contender type team, you probably have to have an above average quarterback to help you. And then the quarterback, like everyone, Donna, we all need support. The quarterback needs the receivers to catch the ball, the tight ends, the running backs. The quarterback has to have a fairly decent offensive line to keep the pressure away from him so he can continue to throw the ball down the field and have some time to survey the field and pick out the correct option. So, he's like everybody. Zach Barnett, he knows about the coaching, and the coaches are moving all the time too, Don. At the end of the season, they're moving all over the place. New coordinators, new head coaches, new position coaches. So that you have to keep up. You need a scorecard just to keep abreast of all the coaching changes. Never mind the players changing, but the coaching changes. It's rampant.
Randy, it must be a lady, Randi, sent you a message. And because of all of the things that are happening within the teams, with colleges and with players, you want to have that team spirit. Do you think they're looking for ways now just to kind of keep everybody together so this doesn't keep happening, folks leaving, going somewhere else? Got
Yeah,
to be motivations.
yeah. One of the main responsibilities now that's placed on the coaches and the staff is retention of the players.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's done financially. Most of the time, probably you have to induce them with a little bit more money or playing time that will lead to money, maybe if they're drafted in the NFL. So it's money is a big function of retaining players. So, and to keep the spirit alive, yeah, that's a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year process. But I think the players, Donna, adults seem to not to adapt as well as the 18 to 25-year-old players. They understand that I'm here at this school right now, but next year I could be facing that school as an opponent. So they try to make the best of the situation when they're practicing with their teammates. They're learning their idiosyncrasies and their habits and trying to develop that relationship because they know that on the field, we are counting on each other. We're dependent upon each other's camaraderie, our ability to function as one unit. In football, that is one of the most difficult team sports. 11 moving parts on each side.
But something, there's something to be said about this. Okay, I'm with a team and I've been with practice with them. I can react to them because I know their personalities and I've got a pretty good idea on how we can stay as a team. So there's something to be said about that with remaining with the same team.
Right. And you must have enough repetition so you understand in various circumstances how that individual will react. So you're correct. But like I said, a quarterback may come over to the team in January, so you have the spring ball, then you have the preseason practice, and that's it. You have to adapt quickly if you want to be successful. And so, like I said, the 18 to 25-year-olds, they seem to do it better than the adults sometimes. They don't have second thoughts about we're bringing in a quarterback. He's going to be I met him in January, and in August he's my quarterback, or he's my right tackle, or my left tackle, or my middle linebacker, or my safety, or our kicker. Yeah, they don't have any issue because that could be them the next year moving to another team. So they understand the circumstances.
But something that I just never, it was when I was much younger, I would go for that shiny new penny. I mean, you show me and you give me more money and I'm there. Yes. But then as I got older and I started working with groups and started working with other people in the corporate world, it wasn't necessarily about that. It was, can I work with this team of people? Are we going to get along with each other? Are they going to let me share my ideas? Or are they going to let me bounce off of them? Those start, once you get a little more maturity about you, those are some of the things you think about.
Yeah, Donna, we've seen this, good point that you brought up. We've seen this happen with college players looking for the greener pastures, and it hasn't materialized for them. And they probably have, if you ask them after their career is over, I think they would voice some regret in making that move. The biggest example so far, and it hasn't happened, was the quarterback at Tennessee. He was there. It was making X amount of money through his name, image, and likeness agreements with Tennessee and the collective there. But he went to UCLA for less money. But maybe the experience will be better for him. I don't know. We don't know because it hasn't occurred at this point. But I know that some players have been looking for more money, and they ended up where they burned the bridge at the one school, and they went to the other school, ended up being less money. If that was your goal, you failed in your goal. If that was your number one goal, to receive more name, image, and likeness money, they failed. But I've seen it happen where, for instance, a running back from Ole Miss, Quinshon Judkins, 2 times down, he was all SEC running back, 2 times, freshman, sophomore, right, terrific player. Wanted more money from Ole Miss. They said no. Went to Ohio State. I was told that he received less money, but he won a national championship. So maybe that was good in the long run for him. He has that ring, that national championship that he would not have had at Ole Miss. And maybe. And so he has a national championship memory, and he played for Ohio State, and they won the title, which that's a goal for many players.
Mitch made a good suggestion as well. He said the only thing about people bouncing from team to team, when they get into the real world and they're looking for, of course, you might football could be their real world, but what I'm saying is if they went to, right, say, a manufacturing company or whatever company, somebody's going to look at the resume that they bounced around from team to team. And that was always a little bit leery when I would interview people who had been from job to job to job. Yeah,
his name is Mitch, right? I would say, Mitch, I think if you had this discussion 20 years ago, maybe you're correct. But I don't think it applies to 2025. Different world. People move all the time. They're nimble. You're right. I remember Phil and I were headhunters. We used to work for a Snelling. We used to own a Snelling franchise back in the day. And so we would help people find corporate and government jobs, that kind of thing. The number one thing there was, why has this person only worked here for 2 years? Right. So now it would be like, wow, you were lucky to keep somebody for 6 months. Right. Yeah. Now they're looking for talent. They're looking for talent. If they can find talent, they embrace you. Whereas years ago, right away, that's the first thing. But that conversation's been done and gone for about 2 decades. So they're seeking talent, right? We see high-level people move around all the time in coaching and different worlds. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way the world is now. We have to go into a commercial break already. I can't believe this. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody hang in. Let's talk more football when we get back.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Because of your overwhelming support, our $14.88 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillow is only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Got AP Steadham with me right now. Man, that time is flying by. We're talking about the new birth of a new football era. And it's been going on for a couple of years, but now we are really seeing some changes.
Yeah, Donna, we've saw so many changes in the last couple of years. And on the horizon, Donna, there's going to be even more dramatic changes. I mean, they're going to have this house settlement. That's the plaintiff. That's the name, the house. And they're going to divvy up $20.5 million apiece to these schools. They're going to have to pay their players. And there's the question about, are we paying the football team 75% of the $20.5 million? How do we pay all the Olympic sports? And how do we divide the money and make everybody satisfied? Then we're having the issues about, do we want to cap the name, image, and likeness money that we can pay players? And if you have that discussion, Donna, you're going to have the coaches at the table. You're going to have the athletic directors, the presidents, all these people, but you're going to have the student athlete represented as well. And really you're bargaining. Now, when you mention that word bargaining, Donna, that brings in the term probably union. Now you have states that are union, some are right to work states. How is that all going to be incorporated to satisfy all the 50 states that have college football, athletics, college basketball teams, other teams? So we're getting into areas, Donna, that we never dreamed, but this is big business with two big B's, big business. And it's been a big business for a long time, but now all the elements that you have in a corporate structure in companies around the world in this country, like I said, you're going to have to bargain with all the people involved to resolve these issues. And how that's going to end up and who's going to be the person who's the leader who can coordinate all these different facets and factions. I don't know how it's going to end up. All I know is it's complicated. And like I said, we went from not paying anybody a dime, where I remember we always use the example of the ballerina at a university or an engineering student was getting more money than the football or the basketball player because they had the total cost of attendance that you can offer the ballerina or the engineering student. Well, then we went through that phase. Well, now the players get the total cost of attendance. They get the Pell Grant. They get the Alston settlement. They get money from that as well. Now you're having this house settlement. So, Donna, it just keeps multiplying, and the complications keep on coming.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned about a right to work state and how different states have their different laws and
Right.
unions and that kind of, I didn't even think about that until you just brought it up.
Yeah. So, but you want the student athlete to be in a bargaining position. You don't want some autonomous decision that comes down through a commission or panel that dictates to the student athlete, because it just, our sense of fairness. We want to make sure everyone's included in this decision. So how they're going to come up with these answers, Donna, I'm not sure. But like I said, I always mention this. You're going to see in the future, I think, entities and financial conglomerates trying to buy a team. They're going to say, well, how much is Auburn? We want to buy him. How much is Alabama? How much is Tennessee? We want to buy the rights, all the naming rights. We want you to be our team. How much is that going to cost? And then all the complications, Donna, and that arise from that relationship. How does that affect all these decisions? So if you think there's been a lot of change, Donna, I think there's more.
You know what? What you just said could actually bring some good, but look at all the colleges that are struggling right now.
Yeah.
There's one prominent college right here in South Carolina that's closing its doors.
Oh,
And
my.
so think about that. If a conglomerate came in and actually bought a college, I don't know if we like in the long run, but what I'm saying is that could add more money to the learning part of the college, which is why they go to college in the first place.
Universities, colleges, and schools are always seeking funding. The president, he's the number one fundraiser. I mean, that's the position of a president nowadays. You have that background of education and curriculums and those discussions, but the president is usually hired to be the number one fundraiser, or have somebody at the right arm who can get that, who has that skill. So with this college athletics, Donna, I think the sanity of the fans, it can be soothed by the games on the Saturdays, or the games that are played. You can always say, I don't like maybe what's happening, but I'm watching my team. I tell people all the time, look, why are you mad at the players receiving compensation? It doesn't affect you unless they're asking, and they're always asking you for money anyway. The universities and schools and colleges are always asking you for money to donate. If you're an alumnus or you're not, or you're a fan, you receive tickets, so you're going to get an email asking for money. But you should just watch your team and enjoy every moment that you can, year to year. And that's, I don't think, but I haven't met anybody, Donna, I have very few people that say, gee, I'm really glad the players are getting paid and able to move around, and they're not under the thumb of a coach or an athletic department stating, well, if you don't like it here, you can just go sit out a year and you can't play ball or you can't compete. So I don't know. I haven't met many of those people, but from my standpoint, they always say they knew this was coming for 50 years, Don. They knew that the players were going to be coming up to this exorbitant amount of money. When you have athletic directors making $2 million, you have 5 or 6 assistants on the football coaching staff making $1 million. That's not even the coordinator, Don. Coordinators are making about $2 million, let's say, and the head coach, Kirby Smart, $13 million. And then you're going to try to tell the student athletes, well, we don't have any money. I mean, you have to be, it's childish to make those comments. And it's childish to say we don't have any money when you're one of the top conferences, because they're obviously the big television money. I mean, there's money. There's money there. It's like when the baseball down there, they had this strike. I don't think they played the World Series one year. They weren't arguing. They were arguing over money. Imagine that. Your grandparents, if they were here today, or great grandparents, what do you mean you didn't play the World Series? What was the reason? Was there some type of catastrophe that was going on in this country? Oh no, we were arguing over money.
I know what both my granddads were huge Alabama fans.
Yeah.
I just know what they would be saying right now. I mean, I just know. But it's a different world, and it's a different world than what they had.
Money.
But it's a different world, but it's also the same world.
Yeah, it's still competition. Yeah, it's still recruiting players. However that's done, now it's done with primarily the financial decisions that are made. But it's still competition, and you still have to coach your team. You're right.
Mark had a question. Let me find it. Okay, Mark got a question, and this is about: do you think this? What is this really in the long run? What do you think this is going to do to pro football?
Yeah, pro football, it'll be a little slightly different because I think more players will stay competing in college because of the NIL money. Because if you're not a first-round draft choice, Donna, the minimum amount, I believe in the NFL is $700,000. I think it is 705. I think so. Some players are making a million. So why would I start playing pro football when I can make more money staying in college and having fun? And it's not. It's a professional level, but you're still having more fun, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think anything's going to happen to pro football. No. Donna thinks this. Donna thinks, okay, so I'm educated now. I'm more educated. I still want to stay in football. I'm going to go into pros now. It'll probably elevate that income as well. But like you mentioned this last week, AP, about how you'll have a more educated football player going into the pros.
You should. They have more experience. They're playing more games. Now, one of the positions that's very difficult to evaluate is the quarterback position. And you've seen teams take a player that had one good year. Maybe they started 13 games, 12, 13, 14 games. They arrive in camp, and you find out right away, they have skill and talent, but they haven't played enough games. They're not grasping everything that we're doing at this level. They don't make their decisions correctly because their mind is not proficient because they've only played a certain amount of games. Mm-hmm. So I think that it can help pro football to some degree if the players, especially at the quarterback position, if they played 30 games, let's say, started, and they've seen different kind of defenses, by the time they arrive with you, they're going to be a more productive player with your team.
Well, and let me ask you this. This is Donna question here. Okay, will there be what you call term limits? What I mean by that, what's going to stop somebody from being a lifelong member? I've got my master's, now I've got to get my doctorate. I got to get
right. Yeah, Donna, that is the question that I think I cannot answer because there have been lawsuits about, for instance, the quarterback at Vanderbilt. He played some junior college football. So there was somebody who filed a suit about playing junior college athletics, saying that should not matter when I arrive at a 4-year institution. So that question, Donna, I still think is up in the air.
I'm just telling you, if I were a football player, I'd just stay in college and just continue my education and get, like master's and doctorate degrees and all those kinds of things, continue as long as I could.
Yeah, you're still in school, correct. I mean, somebody might argue that point in front of a court and they might win. And like I say, I do not know, but the NCAA, they've lost so many times in the court. They kind of leave it alone. They don't like to challenge some things. And that junior college suit, I think one judge said, you're right, it should not matter. So I don't know if it's been settled finally, but that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. AP, as we see it, we're going to have to call it a day. So what's going to happen on your show this coming week? Donna, we have some interesting guests. We have Keelan Russell, was one of the top players in the country, Duncanville High School. He's the quarterback at Alabama, freshman quarterback. His mother, April, is going to be a guest. So that should be interesting. She went through the process of recruitment. And then we're going to have John Garcia, who's a recruiting analyst extraordinaire. So John is going to have be a guest as well. So we're going to learn a lot with those two guests this week. John Garcia, junior recruiting analyst, and Keelan Russell's mother, April. That's going to be great. 30 minutes went by really super fast today, AP. Thank you again so much for being on the show with me. And thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that as well. You're the reason we do. Why do we do? Continue sending emails. I appreciate it. We got a bunch of them. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you for watching.